Welcome back to the show, everyone. Patients no longer need to wonder if they will hear better with AI technology in their hearing aids. Here to tell us why is Stuart Spencer from Advanced Ear Care. Hi, Stuart.
Good morning, Bree.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Good. Nice to see you again.
It's always such a pleasure to talk to you because I love to hear about all of these advancements that our viewers get to take advantage of.
Yeah, it's really exciting time.
In terms of
in
hearing.
the hearing business, and people are hearing better than ever. With these devices, and you can hardly even call them hearing aids anymore. I mean, they're just fast, smart processors. With all the artificial intelligence in them. So now we can really dial in prescriptions and let people know exactly what they're going to hear like, right away. So it's like they go from not hearing to hearing. It's like, oh my gosh.
So is that just a matter of an office visit?
Sure, yeah. It just
Really?
takes a short period of time now for us to really put in the prescription that people need. And we can see that by doing the testing we do, give them the right prescription, the right balance. Everybody's a little bit different, just like fingerprints, right? Everybody's just a little bit different,
Sure.
but the same kind of idea. So we find out what that is and we can kind of dial that in for them, and then they can see the results right away. So, with Audibel technology, it's been so increasing and so fast. It's really been fun to be able to do all this.
That's amazing. I've seen a couple of times these short little YouTube clips where a child is born and with the inability, can't hear.
Right.
And you see their reaction the first time that the child can hear, and it just kind of brings tears to your eyes, right?
Oh, of course. Those are powerful
imagine
moments. Yeah.
It's much the same.
So it is, it's the same type of thing. People are, finally getting hearing. You don't hear in your ear, you hear in your brain, right? Your ear is your decoder that sends that information up there. So if the sound doesn't get from here to here, you just can't process it as rapidly as people speak, right?
Right.
With speech. So, when we put those hearing aids on, we prescribe that proper adjustment and they get that, it is very emotional. It's powerful.
It is. And
for us and their family and them, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some remarkable moments there.
Right. And why do you think people wait so long? Is it just sort of the old world, old school stigma that, you've got this device in your ear and people can see it? And
it's an interesting question. I think that was kind of the older version, kind of the vanity. It's like, oh, I don't want anybody to know I'm wearing a hearing aid, But the thing with hearing loss is that it's so invisible and it's so gradual,
right,
and it's so painless,
right.
People don't even know.
Right.
They think that's normal hearing. And so, they come in, we give them a few, lists of words to see just how they're hearing the way they are. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're like, I just missed 60% of those words, even in a quiet room from 10 feet away.
Right.
So it's like, gosh, well, now we know why you're here, And so we correct it, read them the same list of words, and they get 92%, 88%. It's a huge difference.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's powerful.
Absolutely. Now, tell me about this technology. Is it something that if you send the patient home, they've got their prescription, everything's set, and then over time, are you able to make adjustments without them having to come back into the office, or how does that work?
Yeah, we can do that now. It's pretty amazing. I have some celebrity clients up in LA that we do that all the time with. They'll call and say, hey, Stuart, after wearing these, I like them a little bit louder, or this program to be softer, this one to have a little more compression. And so we do it right over the phone. I'm sitting there looking at them just like I'm looking at you, right on the TV screen,
right.
Dial into their hearing aids. And the amazing thing is, as I make the changes in the software, they hear it like instantly.
Immediately.
I thought there'd be a big delay, and then they'd see the change. It's like instant. Wow. And so we can reprogram anybody's hearing aids anywhere they're at in the world, as long as they're in Wi-Fi, So it's a powerful option.
This is wonderful.
Because a lot of these people can't get out, remember? Or have a real hard time.
Right.
Getting out. So, it really makes it a real benefit for them and an advantage.
Right. What would you say to those people who are a little bit resistant? Say a family member wants to take mom or dad in, and they're like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine. You just need to talk. You need to speak louder."
Yeah. Well, and the thing about the thing about speaking louder is people do it for a real short time, and they just go right back to where their normal volume is. That doesn't work ever. And then the person that they're asking to speak louder gets really tired of it, so it's like, oh, forget it. So I would just say, take advantage of, just the moment and just see what the difference is. Then you'll know for yourself. Make your own decision, but don't be naive, as to what your problem is.
Yeah.
If it was vision, everybody goes and gets their eyes checked like right away, right? I can't see clearly. With hearing, like I said, it's those three things of being painless, invisible, and gradual that lets them get by.
Right.
And so it's like, well, I hear fine. The TV's like 95 on volume, and they hear fine at their volume level.
Of course they will.
Just go out and just see what the difference is. That's the real thing.
Well,
and then you'll know.
And you say it only takes 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, right in there, depending on how much time they take for certain issues. But they'll get it dialed in. Today it's so easy, it's unbelievable, and it's so much better. With Audible, we've got the best technology in the world. These deep neural processors. We're starting to get into how the brain processes sound and make that happen so they understand those speech cues so much easier. And then it just makes it more automatic for them to hear and understand the speech better.
Wow. They're so far advanced now. Where else is there to go?
Boy, I tell you, it's just speed. It's, it has to do with reducing background noise, and identifying certain sound groups, which is what our AI technology is doing today and learning more and more all the time. This stuff's crazy with the way it figures this stuff out. So we can identify those pockets of background noise, directionally, and decide, which ones to cancel and which ones to stay live, so they understand the speech when they're in those noisy environments.
Sure, yeah, like in a restaurant or a gathering or a party or something.
Yeah, and today, more and more, insurances are starting to participate, but to a wide degree, some pay a little bit, some pay almost everything.
Really?
So, we run those benefits down for people, and because we know what to ask for. Sometimes it's not called a hearing aid, it's durable medical equipment. And so we have to ask for that, find out, what their deductibles are, what their copays are, and we give them all that information, bottom line, then they know exactly how much it'll be, but, pretty reasonable today.
So you're kind of taking the guesswork out of the entire process, right?
Well, we hope so. Yeah, just trying to make it easier to have people hear better.
Wow, that's so interesting. So, Stuart, at what age do people typically start the progression of hearing loss?
That's a good question. So now, it's younger than ever.
Why is that?
Oh, people listen to music, really loud for
Is
long
it
periods of time.
The earpods?
Big time, yeah.
Really?
And so, that's, these kids are connected a lot. So there's a lot more hearing loss. I wish I knew the statistics better. But, like 20s, pre-teens, right? The teenage years, there's a lot more hearing loss there. But typically, if you just have normal progressive hearing loss, depending on if it's hereditary or not, you're looking at like, 55, 60 is where you start to see some of it. But, gosh, the hearing tests are for free, right? So you can come in and just see, where you're at. And many people will come in and we just say, hey, you know what, you've got a little bit of a loss, but you're going to be okay for a while.
Yeah.
Come back in here and let's just check that, keep an eye on it. And then they know, and that's okay too.
Wow. So, but traditionally they can walk in and with hearing loss and walk out
With better hearing
clearly.
Yeah.
That's
it's amazing.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
It is. Technology is amazing, and this stuff really works. And people just come back and go, "Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I didn't know there was that much of a difference. I didn't know I was missing that much of a difference."
Well, it's exactly what you said. It's so progressive.
Yeah.
And it's so slow.
Yeah. So they come back. They're hearing birds. They're hearing the clock tick that they haven't heard. They're hearing speech. They're hearing their families better. Grandchildren. It's a big deal.
Wonderful. Stuart, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bree. Likewise.
Coming up next, we've got the All Musicians Club, so you have to stay with me.